Hello and welcome. My name's Super Saiyan and this is your weekly news and pre-order video covering all of the new releases from Games Workshop. I want to say a massive welcome to all of you new subscribers. There's been quite a few of you that have joined the channel over the past week. I want to say a huge thank you to all of you members that continue to support the channel and everybody that uses that Element Games affiliate link in the description below. Save yourself 20% off your Warhammer, put your crystal code in, and then get even more money off future purchases. Right, let's get straight into it. So the news on the Warhammer community website right here. If we look at See All and we go back a week ago, there's been quite a bit of news over the past week. So right here, last weekend on the Saturday, the 26th of July, we had a little look at all the pre-orders that were up, which included mainly Black Templars and Grey Knights, and a few Combat Patrols, Battle Force. So we had the Codex of the Black Templars. I've dipped out of the new Codex race, I guess you'd call it, for now. With refreshing every sort of 3 years, I'm getting a little bit of what I've coined edition fatigue. If things are happening too frequently, you just put the word fatigue at the end of it. So yeah, Codex fatigue, edition fatigue, where Games Workshop release a new Codex every few years, and they just release like one model, or two if you're lucky. In this case, it's two. You've got the special edition Codex of the Black Templars. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a fan of like giving you, this is like shrinkflation, artwork shrinkflation, I'm going to call it. Less artwork for much more money. I mean, the quality of the books is still pretty good though. I can't fault them there. They've really peaked in terms of the soft touch covers, the page keepers, the page edges. They can't really do much more. But you know, we're at the stage where we're paying £60 or so for like 100-page books. It gets replaced. Well, it gets updated within a week or two with the rules, but gets replaced every 3 years. So this is the new mini for Black Templars that was up for pre-order last weekend. The Crusade Ancient, very, very nice mini. Will pick that up one day. And the Execrator. I do think that the Crusade Ancient is overpriced though. It's actually £1 more than the Execrator. Yeah, you could argue, well, there's more plastic because of the banner and things. But, you know, for that money, they could have given us at least a different head option, like a helmetless head or a different weapon there or something. The Execrator has way more options though. You get some different Croziuses, different heads, different arms. Not only is it the hand flamer and the power sword, but you've also got a relic he can hold on to, and he's cheaper. You've got the Combat Patrol for Black Templars. Yeah, if you haven't picked up any Black Templars by now, this is a decent way of getting them. You've got the cards and the dice. I think the dice were sold out quite quick. You've got the Codex Grey Knights, and yeah, the special edition, and not really a new model for the Grey Knights. All they've done is they've just, yeah, they've cheaped out, they've lazied themselves by just introducing one new sprue, and this is the only way to get it at the moment. It's in the Battle Force, so not even a Combat Patrol, Battle Force Sanctic Conclave, where you get the new sprue for the baby carrier, or should I say Nemesis Dread Knight, where you get the flail thing and this new melter, psychic melter weapon of all things. You've got the Combat Patrol for Grey Knights, which has Castle and Crow, looking very big compared to his firstborn brothers, and the Terminator's looking small now. The Dreadnought is tiny. They really need a refresh. I don't know how they can shoehorn it into the lore to make them Primaris or something, because these are typically the most psychic of Space Marines. They need to be to deal with the warp and chaos. You've got the datasheet cards and dice. There you go. And then you've got the Combat Patrol Space Wolves. Again, this is a good one though, because it has a lot of new miniatures like the Terminators and the Battle Leader, but also you've got the old Wolfen. I'm not sure how you feel about them. You've got the Combat Patrol for Tyranid Assault Brood. Why? It seems a bit odd. And also, I think this Combat Patrol, more than others, is definitely a way to sell more Parasite of Mortex minis. It's not a hugely popular model. I'm not a big fan of it, really. It's all right, but yeah, I think it's another way of selling the Biovores too, because they are quite pricey. They're a good little model, don't get me wrong, but they are a bit pricey. And the Gene Stealers are nice. These are the new Gene Stealers. Definitely a massive upgrade from the old ones. Not so much in customization, but definitely in mold lines, because yeah, if anybody's had old Gene Stealers before, you'll probably see where I'm coming from. And the Tyrant Guard or Hive Guard are quite nice. You've got the Space Wolves Spear of Rust limited edition for the novels. You've got Broken Crusade that came out ages ago now, but that's available in paperback. And I probably would pick it in paperback because the hardback, the hardback itself is nice, but the pages are those really cheap. You know, all their books are printed in China anyway, but it's just a really cheap, low quality paper. And for like £18-20, you expect way more. There are other publishers that print books that have way better page quality for less price, for less money. You got the Grey Knights Omnibus by Ben Counter, and that's it. So that was all of the pre-orders last weekend. Random Tyranid Combat Patrol, random Combat Patrol for Space Wolves, and then Grey Knights and Black Templars, and that was it for the pre-orders. The very next day, yes, the Horus Heresy train is not running out of steam. We had a slurry of new releases, so it will have been 3 weeks since the new Horus Heresy like 3.0 minis and things, like the new version was released. That the minis in the set are released separately. In a way, that's a good thing, because if you look on like trade marketplace websites and things, you might be able to pick up these minis for a lot less than they've been going for in the past couple of weeks. I think a lot of people have been buying the sets at really cost prices, like £120 or so, and they've been not scalping, but they've been selling the different sprues and the units in those sets for all right prices, I guess. Bit cheeky. They've been selling them at almost the same price as what they're going to be released at, but you know, that's the price you pay for getting them early. But you know, you're always going to save more money just picking up the whole set for like £120 or so. But yeah, so released separately, you've got the Saturnine Praetor, a very nice model, good looking model. I built him in the live stream, and his cloak at the back is a real pain, real nightmare. But everything else about him is fine, goes together well. And you do get a couple of you know, poses for him, different heads. You even get different like shoulder pauldrons and different melee weapons. So you can have this concussive hammer or this Saturnine axe. Pretty nice in close combat, but they do modify your initiative. Then you got the Saturnine Terminator Squad. Bit bizarre, because in the box set you're getting 6, whereas now they're releasing 4 in a set. I don't know. I think they are big. They're way bigger than normal Space Marine. They're way bigger than normal Terminators, of course. But yeah, I always thought 3 kind of worked more because of the number of wounds and their toughness and things. But hey, you know, you've got a set of 4 here. You've got the Saturnine Sea Dreadnought, the Chiron, the Bugatti Chiron configuration with the disintegrator cannon and the heavy plasma bombard. But not only that, they are releasing the Ophion configuration. And good news is that the Siege Dreadnought is that the Saturnine Siege Dreadnought. It's really easy to magnetize the weapons. So what they've also done, which is a massive, you know, which is a fantastic move by Games Workshop, is they're releasing the Saturnine Siege Dreadnought weapons separately. Sprues for both Dreadnought configurations will also be available. So that's a move in the right direction, Games Workshop. Thank you. That's a fantastic decision. And yeah, it means that if you have one of these Dreadnoughts from the main box set, you can pick up, you know, just the other sprue for these chubby chode like weapons, and then you can magnetize them. So you only have to have one Dreadnought, which, you know, they're shooting themselves in the foot a little bit. They are denying themselves extra sales, because they could have been plonkers about it, and they could have not released this Dreadnought separately, but they could have released this one. I'm giving them ideas. Given them, you know, sold this Dreadnought separately with this new sprue in, and then release this one in like half a year or something like that. I don't know. And what that would have done is that would have forced sales for this new Dreadnought, and it would have forced sales for the box set, which is sitting. It's not flying off shelves or anything. You know, so that would have bumped up their sales on both of those. But I think overall the hobbyists and collectors win by doing it this way. And yeah, I'm on the fence whether to just buy the weapons at the moment. I still am, and it's Saturday morning. Yeah, we'll see how much this Dreadnought is separately. You know, now that these weapons are available individually, and both of these Dreadnoughts are like a mainstay now for a while, and I know that they probably won't sell out. There's no rush, really. I'll be building the Saturn 9 Siege Dreadnought more in the live stream, so join me for that, and I'll yeah, give you more of an insight. Then we've got the Centurion with the Power Maul available separately. Again, much like the Saturnine Praetor, this Centurion was a pain to put together. You know, his legs, arms, maul were fine, but the Cyber Skull was a bit of a pain. And the cloak, again, I don't know what it is, but you can't put the cloak on first. You have to put the power plant on, and then you put the cloak over the power plant, and then there's these extra pieces which are separate that go on a certain way on the shoulder pauldrons, and the shoulder pauldrons are a plug socket with the arms. It's just there's like 11 contact points I calculated that all have to be lined up correctly for the cloak to go on. It's too overcomplicated. It really is, that model. Dare I say it, if it was in resin, it would be quite straightforward. But yeah, plastic, that plastic design for that one is awful. You got the Mark II Veteran Squad with disintegrators. I mean, you're getting 10 Mark IIs, and you're getting the disintegrator sprue with those. We had the Mark II Space Marines separately, I think, a few weeks ago in their own box set. But this is the disintegrator weapons set. So I don't know whether you get a full one of those, but it says, yeah, I think you probably only get 10, look. It says 10 disintegrator rifles, but this weapons upgrade set, you're getting 20. So yeah, if you like the disintegrators, and they are really good weapons, like they just delete Space Marines, then yeah, that's the set you need to be picking up. You've got the Arachne Quad Accelerator platform. I'm not sure about that one. It's quite straightforward, easy, boring to put together. Yeah, and the base thing with these legs they're not glued in place. They're kind of, you just sit it down, and it's almost like the belly is touching the floor. It seems a bit odd, but yeah, that's available separately. I don't know how many people pick that up. And then, out of the blue, got the Legiones Astartes drop pod. Was this the plan all along? I mean, it's a crappy move, whichever way you look at it. It really is, to release a brand new drop pod, to say, you know, to get rid of the old drop pods completely, and say that it's replacing it, say that it's ending the age-old debate on whether the door should be open or not, and then pull the rug under you and release the old drop pod again. It's probably going to cost more money, and it's going to be reboxed in the Horus Heresy iconography and things. I don't know whether you're going to get the chapter markings for it, but yeah, I think they could have smoothed this release over if they release a plastic Dreadnought drop pod alongside it, and then yeah, yeah, we could have glazed over that, but no. So that will be interesting, see how much that is. You got the Age of Darkness markers and tokens, really boring, really cheap, a bit of a pain to clean up because each one has like 4 contact points on the sprue, so you have to clip all of those off, shave them off, sand them off. It's just, yeah, I don't know why we couldn't have had the cardboard tokens, you know, less plastic, recyclable, and less waste, but yeah, they decided to go for the plastic ones this time. Age of Darkness dice look all right. and then the White Dwarf 515. Black Library, you've got the End of the Death Volume 3, I think that's in paperback. And then you've got Here Is Where It Will End map. I've lost count of the number of maps now. I've probably missed out on like 3 or 4. I do have a few, but it gets to a point where there's only so many maps that they can create. I did wonder whether they would go down this route and continue to milk it. I mean, these maps are what, like, I think they're 40 quid each or so. Yeah. You end up having over £500 worth of maps, and that's a Titan, that's a new army, that's a number of decent things instead of just maps. Also, I like to frame my maps, and each frame is like 10 to 20 quid. So yeah, it just adds, doesn't it? You've got Kingsblade audiobook, and then Warhammer Plus, we had Weapons and War Gear, Victory Pointers, and a Masterclass. So very lackluster Warhammer Plus this week for your 50p or whatever it costs per week. So that was the preview for today's pre-orders. Let's have a look at the rest of the articles then. So we've got White Dwarf 515, Inner Mysteries of the Adeptus Astartes, so for some reason there's an article about Dreadnoughts. You've got Space Marine Operations, some chapters. You can sign up for 12-month subscription, get special full art cover issues. I don't know why anybody would want that awful miniature any bigger, but there we go. You've got Honor the Imperium with a free miniature of the month, and an Imperial Laurel coin, so that's the free miniature. Looks like a Space Wolf. And there's the Laurel. How many coins have they released now? It's getting to be a bit like the maps. Pack your biggest fly swatter. It's an Ashwing Hellamite summer. I thought it was a Horus Heresy summer. I thought it was this was the year of chaos. I don't know. But yeah, you've got these Hellamites. They look quite nice. Probably go well with Death Guard and Blight Lords maybe. So the Rumour Engine. Oh, I don't know about that one. That does look more Age of Sigmar than 40k. Some kind of jeweled, clawed maul thing. Touchline Tactics. How to play Norse in Blood Bowl. So yeah. So you've got these Norse Raiders, top 5-star players. Community Painters versus Saturnine. Behind the scenes on Istvan 5, Drop Site Massacre diorama. So yeah, it's a fair bit of work that's gone in with those. Nice little trailer. The full in-depth making of will be covered in the Mech Boys Workshop on Warhammer TV next month. Okay, right, so it's next month then, and it's locked behind the paywall of Warhammer TV. If you wanted to, yeah, it's odd that it really is. They kind of like make a big song and dance about something, and then they pull you into an article to then just try and sell you something. It's, well, I mean, all of this is to sell you something, but you know what I mean. The thing is, if they had that for free, the making of, I mean, I already want to go to Warhammer World again to look at it, but those people that live, you know, a very long distance away, that might just entice them even more. And if they've got the money to go and visit Warhammer World because of this one diorama, they're probably going to be spending a bit of money there as well. Or they probably have on the hobby. That seems odd. Warhammer TV this week, Master the Mortal Realms with movement tips. Okay. And then Community Painters versus Saturnine again, the Traitors. Warhammer at Gen Con Nova Open in August and Warhammer World in November. So there's the Nova Open, 27th to the 31st of August. You've got Team Championships at Warhammer World, Siege of Stromhelm. You get lunch provided each day. and you get a special faction dinner on Saturday evening, and that takes place 22nd and 23rd of November. So it's very like Christmassy feeling. Have I said the C word already? Age of Darkness Showcase, and then Saturnine Terminator Construction, how to get the most out of your tactical dreadnought armor. So this will be a good article. Yeah, out of all the models in the set, these are the ones that I have the most difficulty with in terms of deciding what weapons to go with and the poses and things. They say, yeah, it's important to visualize what kind of pose you like before you start assembling. Is an action pose? Is it depicted in movement, looking heroic, stoic? So step by step. So this is good. So what they've done is they say to glue the leading foot onto the base first, then glue the legs and waist section together, and then the chest. Yeah, that kind of works. And then, yeah, obviously the last thing is gluing the head. The direction is leading foot is pointing. Sometimes it works if you don't have their head in the direction of them firing, but you put the firing weapon like a little bit lower, so he's kind of like looking to his left before he then quickly moves his head and then fires, or he's trying to gauge where his battle brothers are. I mean, obviously we would probably know, but maybe he's having Auspex issues. Seems to be prevalent nowadays. Unfortunately, they've got really crappy small images though in this article. Yeah, that looks better than that, but maybe if his waist was turned a bit, I don't know if you can turn the waist, but yeah, painting the head can be tricky, so preferable to paint the back of the head socket. Yeah, that's a good idea, definitely. Spray is pretty good though. If you can't physically paint it at the back, airbrush or your can of spray should reach to the back. Sub-assemblies, further tips from the designer. Yeah, pretty good little article. I wish there were more than that, and I wish that the pictures were bigger and more high res, but there we go. And that is it for all of the news for this week. Let's go on over to the web store and have a look at all these Horus Heresy pre-orders. Okay, so here we are on Games Workshop's web store, and there's a big advert straight away with Bolster Your Legions. Again, much like last week, I'm not a big fan of cutting out a lot of your product by shaving it in half. I think this has been the worst kind of thumbnail look for Games Workshop web store in a number of years. I just don't see the point of only showing a couple of your new releases and not all of them. It just really is poor, but hey, maybe they'll change it back at some point. But if we go on to new and exclusive and we go to pre-orders and we just sort by high to low, there's going to be some mixed in from last week, like the Grey Knights, the Space Wolves, the Combat Patrol, and Black Templars. But here is the sort of pre-orders for today then. So interestingly, we've got the Saturnine Siege Dreadnought, the Ophion one, which is exactly the same as the Chiron. So it's the same model, but they've just swapped the weapons out. It looks a bit lighter, the Ophion, like the colour, but I think they've just tweaked the image a little bit, or maybe they took the photo in a little bit lighter conditions. Maybe it's purpose, but either way, it is the same model, same pose. It's just the weapons are different. So you've got a choice of picking up either of them. What is interesting though is the Chiron is online only. So the standard base Saturnine Siege Dreadnought you can only get from Games Workshop's web store. You can't get it on third-party sellers or anything like that. It's really interesting that. So the Ophion is the only one you can get from third parties, and it's probably the one with the weapons that people would like the least, or at least doesn't fit with the other Saturnine Terminator weapons. But let's have a little look at both of these. I've decided I'm not going to pick it up on release. I was going to, but I've gone against it now. Price is all right, £67.50. I think it'd be like £54 or so with a third-party discount. But this includes 213 components, so it's over those 200 components price point. Compared to the Chiron. The Chiron has a few more pieces, 218, so 5 pieces more. You know, they're practically the same model at the end of the day. They cost the same. You know, for £67.50, I would have preferred them to sell it at like 70. I know 70 is a big leap, but with both of the weapons in the set. The Leviathan, not so much, because I think there's a few more weapons. It's got the Melter, the Grav, and the Leviathan Storm Cannon. So I think there's like 3 range weapons. And then melee, you've got the Siege Drills and the Claws. But this, it's only got 2. So, yeah, I would have gone back to the drawing board slightly and included both sets of weapons in one set for like £70. But you'd probably be selling more rather than forcing people to buy more. However, one good thing I will say is you can buy the weapons separately. So if you've got the Dreadnought from the main box set, or you're planning just to pick one up separately, if you want the other weapons, you've got that choice. And they're probably going to stick around for a while. I think they are online only though. You've got the Saturnine Terminator Squad, £47.50. I mean, almost Centurion prices there. Yes, you're getting 4 instead of 3, but you know what? In this case, I probably would have again gone back a step and decided to release 3 in a box set for £35, maybe at a push 40. I think we're almost at that £50 price point, which is quite steep for 4 minis. You're talking about almost £12 per mini, but this set of 4 does include 224 plastic components, so you're getting even more than those Saturnine Dreadnoughts. You've got the Arachne Quad Accelerator platform, £42.50. That is very steep for what you're getting, and it is online only as well, which is bizarre. You know, this is a second mini that they're not allowing any third-party sellers to sell. Is this a sign of things to come? 92 plastic components, not too many. You can only build one platform. You've got no other weapon options, only one pose. You can move the turrets, and you can obviously rotate the weapon itself. You've got, here is where it will end map. As I said earlier, £40 per map now. It doesn't even, well, I guess it kind of shows you. It's an odd one because it's probably the weakest map. I mean, it's got a bit of Okami. No, it's literally just got it looks like the Imperial Palace. It looks like, and then is that the Astronomicon behind it with the mountain? It's the Astronomicon where Mount Everest is. I don't know. But either way, you've got Nurgle, you've got Angron, you've got Tzeentch, you've got Keeper of Secrets, so you've got Slanesh. I don't know what that one is on the Tiger is and what that one on the Wolf is. Is that, I guess, Dark Angels and Space Wolves? And then you've got an Eagle, maybe that's Ultramarines coming in. I don't know. I don't know what this thing is here. I think it's the Vengeful Spirit, and then it's like a crossover between, you know, being able to go to the Vengeful... Anyway, that we're getting into the novel and things a bit more. But no doubt it's beautiful. Look, it's even like a little thing that says, oh, throne room right there. But yeah, no doubt it is beautiful, you know, the artwork and things, but is it needed, like, at this point? Yeah, it's available. You've then got the Mark II Veteran Squad with disintegrators, online only again for 10 Space Marines, £37.50. I mean, you are getting that disintegrator sprue in there as well. So I think that's... does it show you the sprue? Of course it doesn't. If you want those, you've got 10 disintegrator rifles, You know, 10 battery packs, 202 plastic components, so not too bad. Codex Grey Knights was last week, but then you've got the Legion Drop Pod, £34. That's had a bit of a price increase of a few pounds. Yeah, they've chosen to just paint the icon on there, and they've got the Aquila on there as well, but you do have some options. It is the old kit. There's nothing new about it. It is straight up the old kit. So now you've got the choice of buying this one, the old one, £34, or two new ones for £50. Let me tell you right now, it's a no-brainer. Even if you have to spend £68, it's worth £18 more to buy two old drop pods than two new drop pods, hands down. Like, there's just no competition with that whatsoever. You don't need to save the money on this kit by buying two of the worse quality plastic, just terrible models, when you can buy this one, which is a nice model. It's a bit tricky to put together, but I've never had any issues myself. You know, you get the doors lined up and things. It's got more detail. There are more options. You can have the doors open and closed. You've got the storm bolter. I'm guessing you get the missile launcher as well in there. They might have taken it out. It just says is equipped with a pintle mounted storm bolter. Okay, maybe they've taken that out. 89 plastic components. I will be picking one up at some point. I'm not sure whether I'll pick it up on release though. We will see. Then you've got the Saturnine Praetor, £31.50. Well, we've done it. We've broken the £30 price point for a plastic Space Marine. Is he worth £31.50? Yeah, he's a bit of a project. He's probably going to come in a box look. The sprue's pretty big. There's like one big sprue and one sort of smaller sprue. There are a lot of parts to him. 78 plastic components, which is insane when you think about it for a single Space Marine, miniature. 78 components. Yeah, I would say he's worth the £31.50. You've got plenty of options, head options, armour options, two different weapons. You've only got one ranged weapon, which is the Plasma Blaster, but it's still pretty good. Yeah, so he's available separately. You've got the Age of Darkness dice set. These are always quite popular, but £27.50, and they're still available. You've got the Crusade Ancient and the Execrator from last week. You've got the Centurion with Power Maul. £24 for this one. I would probably say, yeah, I'm thinking like a couple of years ago prices like £22. I'd probably say £24 is a standard now. The thing is, he doesn't have that many options. Not a different melee, no different ranged. The only option you're getting is a different head. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen him at £22. You are getting 31 plastic components, which is above average probably. But yeah, you can get him separately. You've got the Black Templars releases and the dice that were sold out. You've got the Grey Knights dice, which is still available. You've got the Disintegrator Weapons upgrade set, £18 separately. I think that's online only. And then, yes, the Saturnine Dreadnought weapons at £18 each, and they're both online only. So what that means is you can only get the Ophion Dreadnought separately from third party, which is about £54. And then if you want the Heavy Disintegrator and the Plasma Bombard, you're going to have to spend the full £18 on Games Workshop's website, and that means if you're only going to get them, and that won't be sold in the brick and mortar stores, it'll just be online, you're going to have to pay your delivery as well, because I think, is it £40 you have to pay for free delivery? So that's another, what, £4 or so, £3 or £4. So that's £22. You end up spending about £66 or so, which is as much as a full price Saturnine Dreadnought again. Well, at least it saves you about £30. You either spend another £30 and get a completely separate Dreadnought, or you spend 18 and just get the extra weapon. I mean, personally, I'd spend the extra £30 and just get another new dreadnought. But yeah, at least you've got that option if you don't want to. If you want to save £30 and put it towards something. You've got the Age of Darkness markers and tokens, £15, which is just diabolical. They probably cost like 50p to manufacture at this point. So that is a massive profit margin there. Grey Knights Omnibus was last week, so was Broken Crusade, but the End of the Death Volume 3 in paperback is £8.99, and yeah, this is a thing. It's a great option if you didn't want to spend, I think it was £22 at the end for these books. So again, you're saving, what, £13 or so. And if you don't work out in the gym much, then, you know, these paperbacks are lighter, and, you know, you'll be able to carry them around and hold them up and read them much more comfortably. And then you've got the White Dwarf 515 available as well. So we had it. So last weekend we had Warhammer 40k. This weekend we've got Horus Heresy. For me, you know, I was tempted to pick up the Aphian Dreadnought, and I think I will still pick it up, but in the future. There's not really much point in me picking up the same Dreadnought again, but with slightly different weapons. Like, if it was a close combat version, yeah, I'd be all over it. It'd be like a Leviathan. But just for the two different weapons, I might as well just talk about them in the Siege Dreadnoughts review coming soon. I think I've got that scheduled for Friday of next week. The only other thing that would kind of interest me would be the Legion Drop Pod, but again, this is going to be a mainstay product now. It's not going anywhere. It hasn't been completely replaced. It's going to stick around. So I will probably pick one of those up at some point. But what I'm really interested in and looking forward to is, of course, the Plastic Failblade and the Assault Space Marines and the Siegebreaker Marines as well. And I'd rather give you unboxings and reviews of those than models that I've previously unboxed and reviewed before. What do you guys think of all of the Horus Heresy pre-orders today? By the time these come out, it will have been 3 weeks since they initially released in their box set. Do you think that's enough time? Would you like to see separate releases of the minis be released earlier or later? Please do put your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Thank you as always for watching. The Emperor protects.